what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoy.
Tell me your thoughts on LSU, man. They were picked to finish second in the SEC West. The expectations are really high up here. I had a guest come on yesterday that said 10-2 would be a disappointment for Brian Kelly in year two. So how would you describe LSU coming into the season?
I would never say 10-2 it would be a disappointment, but I think it's fair to say that 10-2 is very much attainable, and the hope is that it could be better than that. I think the bottom line with the SEC West, as good as I think LSU is, and Brian Kelly's talked about their lack of depth being the one thing that he's concerned about, and I totally get that. But from the quarterback position to the O-line to the D-line and the talent on that side of the ball, I think they're poised to do a lot of damage and make a lot of noise. The wild card for me as a whole in the West is Alabama's quarterback situation. I just think that impacts the entire division, because if one of these guys that they have can step up and kind of continue this trend of not just winning Alabama quarterbacks, but playmakers that make everybody around them better. Bryce Young was one of the most cerebral players I've ever been around. Then Alabama looks unbeatable. I mean, they really do. But we won't know that until the season starts. And we may really not know that until Alabama plays its first big game. Maybe that's week 2 against Texas. Maybe it's not. But I have a lot of belief in what LSU has, what Jayden Daniels both was, what he went through, and what he is now, and how quarterback depth will allow them to take more advantage of what made Jayden so special, especially when he was at Arizona State before his ankle injury. I mean, you account for 3,500 yards and 25 touchdowns. That puts you in elite company in the SEC.
For sure. And the athleticism's always been there with Jayden, and he had a great season last year. A lot of it on the ground, but towards the end, he started attacking that third level of the field a lot more and became a lot more efficient passer. That has a lot of people really hyping him up coming into this year. And we talked about it yesterday, Tom. Last time I checked on DraftKings, he was at 12-1 odds to win the Heisman. The only guys with shorter odds the only guys with shorter odds right now are Quinn Ewers and Caleb Williams. That being said, do you really think Jayden Daniels is like that? Do you think he can make that next jump in his game and potentially win the Heisman Trophy?
Well, yeah, because I think if LSU is going to have the kind of success that the potential reflects, we're talking 10-2, 11-1. I do think it's fair to say 10-2 could be the baseline for this team, right? I mean, that's how good that they are top to bottom. But 10 wins in this division, as we say goodbye to divisions in the league, 10 wins in this league means that you have some monster wins, probably 1 or 2 of those coming on the road, and that you've done it with star quarterback. I guess my dog's question, and mine too, would be this. We talk a lot about the depth at the quarterback position. Do you think Garrett Nusmeyer is the kind of player that not only could spell Jayden in an injury situation, but could have success week in, week out in the SEC?
Yeah, we saw a little bit of that in the SEC title game, for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of fans do think that. There's a guy in the YouTube chat right now whose name is Nuss Bus Driver. So yes, a lot of people have high faith in Garrett Nusmeyer. And for what it's worth, when he came in during that Southern game that you talked about with the streaker on the field, threw 2 interceptions. And a lot of people talked about that in kind of a negative light. But I think you saw the progression in his game, and based on what we've seen and based on how he's looked when he's gone on the field, I would say the answer to your question is yes.
Yeah, I don't think you can even apply anything that we saw in the Southern game to breaking him down. I mean, that would be like judging a pitcher going on a rehab assignment, or a starting player getting some spring training at bats. I mean, based on what that game was even before it started and what it turned into, I saw a guy, and having watched him over the years, he knows he can make plays. And when he's given the opportunity, he wants to go in there and take some chances and be a playmaker. The question is always with a replacement player is, are you good just for that one flash, or can you give us the consistency once your name is at the top of the scouting report? People know what to expect, and you have that pressure on you as well. So that would be my biggest question. But I mean, listen, it's a good sign that we're sitting here talking about the backup quarterback, given how prolific the starter has been.
Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.